Hey, welcome back to Jaws on Sports, the best damn show on the interwebs. And hey, man, we got a great one tonight. Just got back from the gym. I'm ready to fight the champ at 185 in the octagon. Keep in mind there is a stipulation attached to that. They need to be over the age of 100. I will take them out. I'm Mike out here in Columbus, Ohio, and we got a great show for you tonight. Although there's no way I'm this pale. I need to figure this damn lighting out, but that's not important. Zach, how's it going?
I'm pumped full of testosterone today. I'm on anabolic steroids. I am stone cold. And I
Zach,
actually had a pretty good day today. It was a pretty good day.
Zach is stone cold tonight. Let me tell you, and that deserves a round of applause there. I had the original Stone Cold Steve Austin T-shirt way back in the day. I wore it so many times that all the decal lettering came off, and yeah, he's an
Absolutely.
old SOB now, but he's still our hero for us that know what's going on in the pro wrestling world.
Yes.
So you had a good day, a real good day.
Yeah, I've had 3 exams this week, which kind of sucks. But I don't know. I had a lot of energy and had a good workout at the gym. I'm feeling pretty good today. And tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Um, It's my mom's birthday. I love you, mom. You're fantastic.
nice shout
Um,
out to your mom. Very nice.
Also, a great day to love each other. I think every day should be Valentine's Day, though. Um, it's exciting stuff.
That was very nice, Zach. I
Yeah,
got to try to figure something out. Do you have your clone there today, or
I don't know.
did
I'm
Elon Musk
feeling better
ship you,
today.
or you just had one hell of a good day? It sounds like.
I think the sun came out today, so
Yeah,
that's probably why I have more energy.
that is beautiful. I love it. I really do. Did
Yeah.
you get Amanda something nice for Valentine's?
Yes, I got. I shouldn't say it on here, but I did. Yeah.
Okay,
um,
if you did get her like the Spanish flavored hearts or something like that, you're probably good to go.
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. All right. Good times. Happy Valentine's Day. All of you folks out there, happy Valentine's Day. A shout out to Sarah. And hope everybody has a good tomorrow. Tonight, we got our Super Bowl recap, and we're going to talk a little bit about UFC 298 this weekend. Should be a good one. All right. So anyway, I have got the only Kansas City thing that I own behind me here, my Joe's Kansas City Barbecue t-shirt. Best cuisine in the United States, regardless of type, cost, whatever. Go there, the 47th Street location in Kansas City, on the Kansas side, actually. Best barbecue that there is. And we were there back in what, April last year for the UFC fight. So need to head back that way sometime soon. If you're passing through Kansas City, or even if you're 1,000 miles away from it, take the detour, go there, go to Joe's, and you will be very impressed. Let me tell you.
Talking about eating, who ate on Sunday? Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie single-handedly won the game for the Chiefs. Um, Probably not a name that a lot of people think of too much when they think of Sunday. They think of Mecole Hardman catching the touchdown and um, CMC having some fumbles and then kind of being he disappeared a little bit. But Trent McDuffie shut down their biggest weapon, which was Debo. Debo was strapped up the whole game and didn't hear his name very much because of Trent McDuffie. So that's my Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie and Snead, man, those corners for Kansas City were just phenomenal out there in that game. Everybody knows about the 49ers skill position players, how good they are. And they just, other than Christian McCaffrey, who he did have, I think, 160 yards, and that was evenly spread out between receptions and running the ball. Nobody else really had much of a game at all. Debo, it's interesting because he was in and out of the game a lot. He had hamstring issues, and the dude is a warrior, but he pretty much got shut down. Kittle got shut down. Ayuk, well, he didn't have much of anything out there. Um, just great defensive game plan for the Chiefs. There's one thing that I thought, yeah, I never, when I'm watching that game and we were, essentially watching it together, um, I never thought that the Chiefs were going to lose. All right. I never did. Um, just in the end, like we talked about before, I thought that, and when it comes down to it, I trust Patrick Mahomes a lot more than Brock Purdy to make a play when he had to do it. And ultimately, that's what happened twice at the end of regulation, of course, in overtime. Um, but it seemed like the 49ers dominated about 2.5 quarters of the game. And then the Chiefs, they turned it on, but the Chiefs defense kept them in. They were pretty much bend but don't break. They made some big plays. Obviously, McDuffie, he saved it at minimum one touchdown, possibly two. I think there was another one to Ayuk that got overthrown. He was wide open, but just great performance by the Chiefs secondary. And yeah, good call on McDuffie. I like that going outside the box there.
That, and we talked in the pregame about how Kittle had to have a big day. I think he had 4 yards total. The little checkdowns and drag routes were shut down, and that was the whole game plan that the 49ers had. So they got the pass rush on them in the second half, but in the first half, they had to cover, and they did really well.
Yes.
So 49ers didn't really do much. They had that bad fumble on the first drive. They were in field goal range. Points are at a premium in a big game. That fumble, a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. I mean, the Chiefs had that bomb from Pat. It's like 60 yards, and then they fumbled inside the 10. And the Niners fumbled with CMC. They had that punt fall off the dude's foot. Like, it was just a game of mistakes. And those bounces tend to go the 49ers' way, all of them. And a couple of them went the other way, and it skewed the outcome.
Yeah, I do think that the mistakes in the game kind of balanced each other out. I mean, both teams had turnovers inside their opponent's 10-yard line, or at least in the red zone. Um, there was a couple that were outsized, the block point after touchdown. And I don't think that one got as much press as I thought it would after the game because of the way the fourth quarter and overtime went. But is there anybody out there that really thinks that if the Chiefs were down by 4 points on that last drive, that they would have been kept out of the end zone? I just, what, that we can never know what would happen with that, but I don't think there's any way in hell that the San Fran would have been able to keep them out. As it was a block, the point after touchdown, and we had a 3-point game. Butker, man, he's nearing that Adam Vinatieri kind of rarefied error, kind of. There might be some people want to throw punch me for saying that, but speaks for itself, you know.
Yeah, dude, he went 4 for 4, like Wendy's.
Aren't they
I think
4 for 5 now?
I don't know. Inflation sucks. Um, but I think the whole season he went 44 for 46 on kicks. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
Fantastic showing. Kickers suck. Kickers aren't football players, but they really can determine the outcome of the game, and he did great.
Yeah, he was great out there. Even Moody. I mean, um, I've got quite a few friends actually who are 49ers fans, and they've been giving him crap all year. The dude's a rookie. Rookies make mistakes. But when you get to the NFL, as a kicker, you have one job, you're expected to make the kicks. You make 99 of them in a row, you're the hero. You miss the next one, and people want to shoot out your porch light. They want to steal your girlfriend. They want to dump your garbage in the front yard. All this other real bad stuff, take your Halloween candy and everything. But he had a heck of a game. There were 3 field goals in the game that were over 50 yards. And
Yeah, man, special teams,
yeah,
they are so important. And we saw not just the kick, but a muffed punt. And
mm,
then the Chiefs fielding a punt inside the 10. Like we talked about that too.
yeah,
Little
freaking
plays like that. Yeah, it's stupid. Little plays like that, you don't think too much of it when it happens, but man, special teams, it's in the phrase, it's special. You got to
mm.
pay attention, you got to practice it.
Yeah, you got to put that emphasis on it, and um, just crazy stuff out there. And I can't think of the gunner on San Fran who just made a couple giant plays. Who was that guy? Doesn't matter.
He blew up some of those returns though.
Yeah. And I want to say this, I'm not a 49ers fan, and I don't have any vested interest in the Chiefs either. I think it would have been more fun if Detroit had won the NFC, but hey, they didn't win, and that's such is life. You think you'll always get back, but that doesn't always happen. It seems like the teams that get back are the teams that were there, the 49ers and the Chiefs. But I think that I think that I had a really good thought that is going to come up, and my 54-year-old brain like took a hockey check, like a cross check or something. I don't remember what the hell I was going to say. So I'm going to, leave it up to you to
It's okay. I took a lot of blows to the head my 14 years of football, so I'm not too far behind. But um, we haven't talked about the man of the hour, which is Brock Purdy, um, everyone's hero. Uh, dude's thrown to 3 Hall of Famers. The check down wasn't there for Brock Purdy. It wasn't. The check down wasn't there. He had wide open touchdowns, shanked it, bricks. He's throwing meatballs out there. That guy sucks. Brock Purdy. Jimmy G's better. Um, just kidding. He had a great year. I just don't like he he just gets too much praise because he has all these great weapons, and it's kind of like the Mac Jones Alabama thing. Like football's a team sport, but Mac Jones was throwing to Ruggs and Devontae Smith and Najee Harris. And we were like, "Oh, this guy's crazy." And I mean, shout out to them. They fought really hard, but they had multiple chances to just put that game away. The Chiefs kept messing up. They were in turmoil. They were screaming at each other on the sideline.
mhm.
And the very first drive of the second half threw a pick at the 40-yard line, and they went backwards. They didn't get any points on that drive. They could have really, I don't know, put them in the ground, but they could have really had them their back against the wall. And they just didn't take advantage. And then if you give 15 the ball with any time on the clock, you're screwed. So they really screwed up. Um, they had some open touchdowns. They had some busted offensive line assignments. And the Chiefs just didn't let them get the easy things. And that's their whole game plan.
Yeah, I kind of sort of remember what I was going to bring up. Like you mentioned some plays that San Fran had that they didn't execute, and the Chiefs did as well. I do believe in the end that Brock Purdy, he was kind of Oklahoma's nemesis. Shout out to the Sooners, of course, always. The gymnastic team, the softball team are kicking ass already. Boomer. Um, One thing about that is that overall, Purdy played pretty darn well. He didn't turn the ball over in the game. His job is to try to get the ball to those great skill position players, and he did about how I expected him to do. If he's the best option that San Francisco has at quarterback, that's what they did. I uh, I do think, and this is for another deeper show as we get to the off season and look for the 2024 season. But because it was just in his second year and he was a seventh round draft pick, he's going to be on his rookie deal for at least one more year. So the 49ers don't have to do anything with him. They don't have to pay him massive quarterback money. They could keep him if Shanahan and company think that they can get back and possibly actually win a Super Bowl, but that allows them to pay their other players. There's always a lot of turnover in the NFL, but Purdy, hey, all the talking heads out there are talking about, he's a game manager, whatever, blah blah blah. Um, 2 years, two consecutive NFC Championship games, one Super Bowl, that just right there, that's pretty good. Do I think San Francisco could win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy? I'll tell you what, I do think that next year they possibly could, unless they run into this Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs again. I just the anomaly in the Chiefs run was that Tampa Bay game of a few years ago when they had, I think, only one of their starting offensive linemen that played in the AFC Championship game. They were decimated on the offensive line. And when the ball was snapped, Mahomes was running for his life. And Tampa Bay's defense was freaking phenomenal. Brady did Brady stuff, got that last Super Bowl respect. Um, but ever since then, any kind of a big game, who wins? Chiefs. Well, what did the Chiefs have this year? They had the roles kind of flip flop. When we think of the Chiefs, we think of superstar offensive firepower, and they do obviously at the quarterback position. And Travis Kelce, Taylor's version. I mean, the dude is great, and he showed up at big moments. He had that meme with Coach Reed there in the first quarter. Give me the Big Mac, that one or whatever the hell he was saying. Put me in the game. Don't take me out. Don't whatever. I don't freaking care. But the thing is, they had a average, maybe offensive line. They had the most passes dropped by tight ends and wide receivers this season in the NFL. Uh, Pacheco was hurt for a good chunk of the season. When he was out there, he played pretty well at running back, and I think he does make a difference. But their offense was in disarray the whole season, and what kept them together? That number 15 Patrick Mahomes guy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we remember watching Brady and, minus Randy Moss, but this guy was throwing to Danny Amendola, Brian Hogan, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, and all these little white dudes that, you would walk past them at Kroger and you wouldn't think anything of them, but they made it happen. They played as a team, but they caught the ball.
Yep.
This Chiefs team couldn't catch the damn ball. I mean, Kadarius Toney, he was a healthy scratch in the playoffs because they just knew he would screw up. The ball would hit him in the face mask and fly in there, get picked off or
Oh,
something.
real quick. I think Kadarius Toney might be a star in the upcoming United Football League.
I don't know if I'd even put him there. Oh gosh. I remember he
Maybe the
took a
YMCA flag football. I don't know. I mean,
I remember watching one of the filthiest, horrible football games of all time, Florida versus Miami. It was week 0 when they first started that in college. Kadarius Toney took a screen pass 70 yards to the house. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's crazy. He's fantastic. And that was the last play he's ever made. That guy sucks. and But the
Hey, he
moral
did have
is
a great play this year. Well, it would have been a great play if he didn't line up a yard offsides.
exactly, but
Buffalo.
Pat was throwing to these ding dongs out there, minus 87, and he didn't turn it on until the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Rashee Rice stepped up. Everyone else sucked, and they somehow found a way. They relied on their defense when the offense couldn't pick up the slack. The defense made it happen.
Yeah, going into the offseason, obviously the Chiefs have some work to do in the front office with the defensive tackle, freaking superstar Chris Jones. Just it's him and Aaron Donald and a giant gap to the third best defensive tackle in the NFL. Chris Jones was the disruptor out there, and he with yeah, I tried not to get too deep into the advanced analytics and all that stuff, but he dominated that game in spurts last night, and in particular when he needed to, big plays, San Fran third down plays, kept him out of the end zone, forced field goals. That dude is just he's phenomenal. Um, they the bottom line is, say what you want. You could dissect the Chiefs seasons on offense. Uh, the defense kept things close. And when the defense keeps things close, you got that Patrick Mahomes guy who's going to make things happen. And you cannot give that guy the rock with time left to tie or win a game because that's going to happen. It's freaking inevitable. It's like freaking Thanos when he went like that. It's gonna happen. They're going to win. Sorry, other team, it doesn't matter who it is. You're going to lose if the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes have the damn ball with 13 seconds left and have a chance to tie or win. So, are we getting, okay, here we go. Are we getting to that point where we're looking at the Chiefs like we did the Patriots, or were we there last year? Are we definitely there? It's not apples
I
and oranges anymore, man. You got three Super Bowl rings in 5 years. You got four Super Bowl appearances. Uh, Mahomes is 28. For all the money he makes, the way it's structured, it's actually team friendly, which, hey, we should be getting a cut of that, man. We need to figure that out in our next 35 episodes or so. But when you got that guy, he is so freaking good. I just there's yeah.
Brady had that aura around him. The camera pans to him and he's walking out on the field. You can see the crowd in the background. There's however much time left, and you're like, this guy's gonna go down and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And when you see 15 walking on the field, you feel that same feeling. I'm not saying he will catch him on that trajectory, maybe if they keep climbing, but it's so it gets me going. I don't like the Chiefs. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Cowboys fan, but just watching a guy over and over deliver in the clutch, it's fantastic. And I love watching that just as a former player myself. We personally used to beat the hell out of everybody, so we didn't really have a lot of game winning drives. But I love watching that. Um, I don't know if I have fatigue on them yet, but we also got to talk about who they played because the 49ers, they couldn't get their bread and butter going. And the one thing that was working was in between the tackles with CMC.
Mhm.
And Shanahan has a tendency to abandon the run. And the Chiefs were shutting down Brock. The players came out and said they wanted Brock to throw the ball. That's what they wanted because they knew they just knew what they were going to do. They weren't going to test them deep. And they said, we're going to walk up and we're going to cover your short routes. And when the 49ers ran the ball, they went for 8 yards every time, but they just stopped. You have your MVP running back, and Lamar, you're great, but CMC is MVP. Um, who was getting these chunks every time he got the rock, and they just stopped. And it gave the Chiefs that chance every single time to get back in it.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking with or chatting with my brother this morning about this and about McCaffrey, and I think that he had in the game, I want to say he had 30 touches, I think. All right. Now, I'm not Coach Shanahan. Obviously, he knows more. He has forgotten 50 times uh more about football than I'll ever know. Okay. But one game for the Super Bowl, the one thing I would have done, I would have got the ball to McCaffrey every other play. You know, this is the Super Bowl. You got all off season to recover. Game plan, main plan. You know, get your horse and go. You know, 2 yards on first down, do it again. 2 yards on second down, do it again. Next time, try to hit him out in the flat, bubble screen, tunnel screen, little slant, whatever. You can create mismatches with your other guys out there. You know, cross him up with Deebo Samuel. That's what I would have done. And hey, look, if I was a coach of the 49ers, the Chiefs would have won that game 45-3. Let's be honest. It would have been worse. But hey, I you gotta, roll with the guy who got you there. And I mean they got him the ball quite a bit, but he needed to get the ball more. Um, Easy to say in retrospect. The bottom line to me, this was a hell of a good game. I know that there were a lot of the more casual fans out there, um, and then the fans that tune in once a year for the Super Bowl, who saw the first half. It's like 10-3. Aren't these two teams supposed to score 60 points or whatever? But that was good football out there. You know, you saw the Chiefs that they couldn't do much offensively. The defense stepped up, kept them in it. You saw both teams make big plays on special teams. You saw both defenses step up when the opponent was in their red zone. And then the cream rose to the top there in the fourth quarter and overtime. And man, hey, no respect to the 49ers. You gave the Chiefs time, tied it in regulation, won it in overtime. And hey, champs, 3 rings. And I do believe that what this means is that here in the offseason, we're going to see a whole bunch more of Travis Kelce and Coach Reed and Patrick Mahomes State Farm commercials, and yeah, who knows whatever else they'll rep this year. So if you had Kelce Mahomes fatigue, sorry, you're going to see a lot more. Um, Respect. We got about 8 minutes left. You want to jump a little bit into UFC 298? You got any last words on the Super Bowl?
Um, it stinks football's gone. Until then, I'll find some way to take up the time. But next year, my Dallas Cowboys will win in the first round and then lose in the second, but they will win. That's all I got. I don't care about
That's right,
the
man.
Chiefs. Yeah.
We need to have a show here in a couple weeks before March Madness starts. We need to do a show about how we're doing without football, a month later. So that's going to be one of our shows upcoming. So anyway, a quick prediction next year. Um, I've got the Carolina Panthers, the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. Go bet that one next trip in Vegas, and I'll change that prediction tomorrow. So anyway, let's take just a quick drop on UFC 289. I'm sorry, 298 this weekend. You got the featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski versus undefeated Ilia Topuria. And hey, I don't know if Taporia is really at that level or not. All the guy is he just dominates his opponent, but Volkanovski at 145, man, he's something else.
Well, my thing is Taporia hasn't fought anyone worth anything. I mean, he beat Josh Emmett, who just throws overhands. He beat Bryce Mitchell, who he's not that good. I mean, this is a totally different level. Um, People saying Volk coming off that loss, that was tough. But you got to remember how technical this guy is, how hard he works. He's been unstoppable at 145, and I just think Toporier's he's got a big mouth, and I think he's gonna get slapped for it. I think Volk is really gonna beat this guy up. I don't know if he'll finish him, but um, I think that canvas might be painted crimson at the end of the fifth round because I think Volkanovski's gonna bust him up bad. He's gonna use his leg kicks and his knowledge of space and range, and he's just gonna pick him apart. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think this smells like a 49-46 or even 50-45 decision or like a third round TKO, ground and pound stoppage type of a thing. Um, and Volkanovski is getting a lot of heat because he got knocked out pretty bad uh, at lightweight last time, but what did he take that fight on 11 days notice?
Yeah.
Something like that against a guy who's arguably the best in the UFC right now. I just I'm riding with Volkanovski. The dude is he's great. He's right up there pound for pound at the top, and I think he's got a point to prove in this fight. So
Yeah. I think it'll be I think it's gonna be 5 rounds. Um, but I do see Volk just beating him up bad.
one I want to talk about here, it's also on the main card. Henry Cejudo is back, and he hasn't fought, I don't think, since May of last year when he fought Sterling for the bantamweight title. That fight could have gone either way. Keep in mind, Cejudo, he had been out for 3 years before that, so this is just his second fight in almost 4 years. And I think he's in the late 30s, 37 or 38 now. But that guy is still, he's the best wrestler that there is. He's got heavy hands. Um, he's actually not favored in this fight. I don't quite get that. But what are your thoughts on this fight?
Two really strong wrestlers, but two different styles of wrestling. Henry, American Olympian, and Marab, he's more of just a volume guy.
Hmm.
Like he doesn't get tired. This is a 15-minute fight, which is the difference, because Marab might shoot for 25 takedowns, and Cejudo might stuff 23 of them. But Henry's gonna have to use distance in this fight, and he's gonna have to box because if he just is stuffing takedowns the whole time, even if he doesn't get taken down, the visuals from the judges they'll say, "Oh, Marab was pushing the pace." Um, but I think he can get it done. I do. He just has to use his space, and he's gonna have to stand up because Marab he's not great at striking. So if Henry can stuff those takedowns like he did against Aljo, which
Hmm.
is also an interesting insight here because Marab and Aljo are teammates.
Yeah.
So Marab was mimicking Cejudo for Aljo before their fight. So knowing his mannerisms and now he's actually fighting him, it's an interesting dynamic. But 3 round fight, as you said, Cejudo getting a little older, little rust. I think Marab's going to win a silly like 29-28, kind of not a boring fight, but just a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm going to take Henry 29-28, and I mean it could you could flip a coin on that fight, but we got just a couple minutes here. I do want to talk about Robert Whitaker and Paulo Costa. I've always been a Bobby Knuckles fan. You know, he's a great fighter, former middleweight champ. Um, Costa always looks good out there. Whitaker's a little bit of a favorite in this fight. Um, for some reason, you know, this one should be 5 rounds.
I think so too. I just think Costa, he's pulled out of a lot of fights. He's
Yeah.
had a lot of issues since the Izzy fight in 2020. Um, Whitaker is coming off getting knocked out. He's
Both these guys are coming off. Well, wait a minute. No, no,
well,
no.
Costa beat Rockhold in his
Yeah,
last
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that
Um,
was wow, that was almost 2 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think Whitaker, he's gonna have to stay at range. Costa likes to rip the body, and I think what Costa has to do to win this fight is he has to go southpaw. Rob has troubles with southpaws, and especially their lead jab. That's what Cannonier did. That's what
Yeah.
Dreek is. Um, but Rob, if he can use his wrestling and stay at range with kicks, I could see a little bit of a point fight. But Costa's coming to take your head off. So um, I think Rob's kind of chinny. He's really good, but he's getting old. He's gotten floored a couple times. I think Costa's going to win. I think he's going to overwhelm him.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take Whitaker again, 29-28. Close, probably a close fight, but it's gonna be fun to watch. We got less than a minute left on our show tonight. I just want to shout out at all the good people at Chipotle. Had a pretty good uh what did I get? It was just a chicken, I think. But when you mix the pico and the corn salsa in there with some guacamole on top, pretty darn good, right?
Yeah.
That's right, man. He loves it. So again, you know, welcome back to Jaws on Sports. Thanks for tuning in. I know that we upped our subscribers this last time. So for Mike and Zach, good night, folks. We will see you very soon.